Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel Crafty Concepts with Erin. I have a scrapbook layout for you today featuring the Beach Party collection from Close to My Heart. If you tuned into my channel last Tuesday, you know I did a double page layout with this same collection and we were actually at the beach. Today I'm going to do a swimming, pool layout with these pattern papers. So you can see I've got some scraps. I do have a couple of the 12 by 12 pattern papers. They are all double-sided, and then this beach ball one is going to work really well for my photos today, but the other side is a nice red and white stripe if you find this a little bit too bold for you. But I do have several photos of my boys playing in the pool, and you can see there's green on the floaty and this giant green ball that they're having a really good time with, so this is going to work perfectly for my layout. I did print these to 3 by 3 square and there are 4 of them, so let me get this cleared up really quick. You guys know I have to have my VersaMat here, so I do get asked about this quite a bit. It's 12 by 12. You can see it's got their measurement lines all the way around, so it makes lining up your papers really easy. And if you use a T-square ruler, there's a little lip here, so it catches on that, and it makes it really nice to make sure your lines are straight. And on the other side, it has this foam background, which is perfect for stamping. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you've seen me do that as well, but I will have it listed in the description box below so you can find it there. So I am going to create a frame style layout. This is Bluebird cardstock and then White Daisy that I have trimmed to 11.5 squared, so we have a 1/4 inch margin all the way around. So I'm envisioning a grid style layout. So what I did is I cut a bunch of the little scrap pattern papers into 3 by 3 squares to be the same size as my photos. And I'm going to start with the photos here and place those. And you just want to kind of spread them out. We can always move them around. I like to just dry fit everything before I adhere it down. So maybe that one there, maybe this one here. That looks good. So they all have that, the same color scheme going on. So that's nice. And just that green naturally draws your eye through the layout. And then here are my pattern papers here. There is this really pretty Sundance color on the opposite side of this blue wave paper, but I think I'm going to stick with the Bluebird, the Clover, and the Candy Apple Red for this particular layout. The yellow's nice. Maybe we'll accent with that a little bit. So when you're placing your papers, you want to make sure that you have the colors distributed. You don't want, your 2 greens next to each other or concentrated in one area. So you would definitely want to move those around. So again, we're keep in mind that the visual triangle when you're placing your papers and your photos, it's just a good, it's not a hard rule, but it is very helpful when you are, putting your embellishments as well as your colors. So let's try this one. I'm thinking that's too much green. Let's try the red side, and then we can bring in more red accents as we go. I think that is going to be good. I like it. I'm going to get fancy and actually add some stitching to the cardstock, like a tic-tac-toe grid in between. So I don't have a sewing machine. My mother-in-law does next door, so I'm going to run to her house. I will be right back. Okay, how was that for quick? This turned out pretty well. I just did a classic straight stitch and it was super easy. I just taped my tails with a little bit of washi tape. I do not stitch on my layouts because, like I said, I don't have a sewing machine, but I love the way it looks. And I was just inspired today to do this, and I think it's going to add a lot to the layout. If you don't have, a sewing machine, or stitching just maybe is not your thing, you could hand draw lines with a ruler in between, or little doodly lines, or you could even stamp faux stitching. So actually there is a border stamp with stitching on it, and I'll leave that linked in the description box below as well. So let me get these pieces back in their place. Doesn't that stitching look cool? Well worth the time that it took. I am going to go around each of these pieces and ink up the edges. Just, I like the way it looks. It finishes it off really nicely. So I won't make you watch me do all of those. And I think I'm going to use blue, the same Bluebird ink, even for the different colors. I think that will just, you know, be nice and tidy all the way around. So just like that, you can see how much that added to this piece as opposed to that one. I was thinking it would look good to mat these photos on cardstock so they pop a little bit more, but then I had an idea. I had these stitched square stitched square dies. There's 3 different sizes, and I'm thinking that this center one here is going to make a perfect frame. So let's just see if that's going to work. Yes, it is. So what I'm going to do is cut several frames from the Bluebird cardstock and the lighter side of the candy apple, and I'll be right back. So I particularly like these dies because you get the inner piece, see that stitching detail around the outside, and then you get the frame as well, which also has that faux stitching around the edge. So let's see here. Oh, perfect. So it's just something a little bit different. You know, we have that detail, and instead of matting it, we're framing it. I cut some in red also. So I'll put one there and maybe one up here just to draw that red color up from the lower corner. Perfect. Let me get these out of the way. For my title, I have the Beach Party Scrapbooking stamp. So there's keeping cool by the pool, summer fun, time to relax, beach time. All of those would work for a title, but I'm thinking keeping cool by the pool. So let me slide that over there and we will go ahead and get this out. These do come with coordinating thin cut dies as well. If you can get them with or without the dies. So I'm going to stamp this in Bluebird ink, and I have some White Daisy cardstock, and you absolutely do not have to have a stamp positioner. You can just do this with a traditional acrylic block, but I have one handy, so I'm just going to use it because why not? So let me grab this out really quick. Make sure you want to give it enough room to where when you die cut it, the die cut can fit around the outside. Close the door and pick up your stamp. Make sure that's in the corner there. Perfect. I don't know what it is about water photos. I just love documenting them. They're just, the colors. First of all, I love the color blue. I love green, but it's just so fun. I think we're always doing something fun when we're around the water. So it's just happy memories, but I just love the photos. There's like a little lint ball. We don't want that. So we'll press this down, and the beauty of a stamp positioner is if you don't like how it turned out, you can re-ink your stamp and do it again. Maybe if you didn't season your stamp, or if you didn't have a piece of foam underneath it, lots of reasons why it might not stamp perfectly the first time. So I do like having a stamp positioner for that. So that looks really good. That's going to be a perfect title. And they do have the coordinating thin cuts on their own magnetic sheet here. So let me just grab the corresponding one, and I'll line that up and go ahead and get that die cut off camera. I'll be right back. So there is our little stamped title embellishment there. And I don't want to put it on the blue, so I'm thinking maybe right here on the red, it's going to stand out better. And then I pulled a bunch of stickers off the sticker sheet that are in the coordinating color. And you do not have to have a watermelon in your photos to use a watermelon. It's okay. So I just thought it's red and it reminds me of summer, so it'll be perfect. I'm thinking of putting the palm trees over here so you can see how we have the green drawn through just by adding this little bit of greenery over here. So I'm going to layer that right underneath there, and maybe now let's try the watermelon here. I don't really want my the starfish there, so I'm going to cover that up. Perfect. That's super cute. And maybe we'll draw a little green down here with this surfboard. It's covering a little bit too much of the photo. This one has more room, so I'm going to switch those really quick. And I think that's going to work better. See, there's more, I was covering up too much of my sun, so we just switch those photos, and that works perfectly. I also have this little word sticker. It says, "Sun, here we come," and that's going to look nice, layered right over the bottom there. Let me get this one back in place. Perfect. I'm going to use just a little bit of 3D foam tape. This is the thicker. There's a thin and a thick. And then you're going to want to use microtip, the non-stick scissors. You can tear this, but I don't like to do that. I know a lot of people do, but I prefer to cut mine. So let me see if I can get this piece of trash off my finger. Let go. And then we're just going to run a few strips of foam on the back of our title here, and then pop that up, and it'll create that shadowing and just give it a little bit of something extra. Perfect. And then oftentimes, like, I might glue down the bottom and then just put foam tape under the tops of the palm tree to elevate that for a fun look. There's 2 sizes of the foam dots as well, so those work really well for, you know, little applications like this where you just want to put it behind the tops of the palm trees, so you can just, you don't have to cut it, they just fit in there perfectly. And like I said, I just want to pop up the top and have the bottom adhered down for a fun look. There we go. And what's I like to do about the grids is let these embellishments kind of spill out of the square. So we have this, and you can see going out of the square, and then the title's not in it, you know, it's coming off the side and the bottom. And that just is a really fun look and adds some kind of movement to these very structured layouts. I'm also going to incorporate this little arrow that says sunshine onto the layout, and we'll stamp that into, or in Sundance ink. So I've already got my little piece of scrap paper in there. Anytime I have little bits of white daisy paper, I put them in their own little bin, and then it's perfect for, you know, things like this when you just want to create a stamped embellishment, and you just reach for those pieces of white daisy from the scrap bin, and it's super handy. And that way you're not wasting or having to cut up a sheet of paper, you know, when you just need a tiny little bit. So you can see there, that didn't stamp perfectly, so we're going to ink that up one more time and do it again. I love this Sundance color. It's such a pretty golden yellow. Okay, perfect. I'll go ahead and get that die cut out. Okay, perfect. I love making my own little custom embellishments. It's so easy and fun, and it always coordinates because you get to pick the ink color. Always adhere those with Post-it removable tape, and that way they don't slide around when I'm running them through my die cutting machine. So let's bring this back in the center, and I want to use this because it's just cute, and it's like the little floaty that they're on. So I'm going to make a little embellishment cluster up here in this piece there. So I added my journaling. I just printed that out on my computer on a Word document, and I did add this little sticker that says like a fish, but I need something right here. So there's this wave border sticker from the sticker sheet. I cut off a little section here and popped it up on foam tape. I did remove the adhesive with my anti-static powder tool, and I'm just going to make a little feature right down here on the bottom. And then I thought it would look cool to layer another set of waves behind it. So I'm just going to wiggle that down in there, and I want them kind of offset, and I like the way that is looking. So I'm going to trim that right underneath here. Perfect. We'll save this piece for another project. Last but not least, I want to add a few dots, and I have, again, these are from my stash. These are the Cake Day dots, but the color matches perfectly. So I like to do things in odd numbers, and you'll notice I tend to do the triangle around, you know, whatever it is I am placing them around, and it's nice to mix and match. Sometimes I'll just do 2. You don't always have to, you know, have odd numbers. And then we'll do some over here, maybe just down here. Oops. And we'll put a larger one. The larger ones seem to be the hardest to use. I don't know why that is. I always use up the small and the medium first. So there, I like that. Cute. Maybe we'll just do one more. Let's do the medium one. And we'll put that one right here. Alrighty. I think I'm going to call this layout done. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I don't have any embellishments on the beach ball paper, but I feel like it kind of makes its own statement. But we have, you know, stickers from the coordinating sticker sheet mixed in with stamped images for a custom look. And the stitch frames, I think, turned out really cool. I love the way that looks. So just some ideas. I hope that you guys are inspired. If you are not already a subscriber, I would love it if you join the Crafty Concepts with Erin community and hit that subscribe button. Here's some more videos that I think you will enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!